tons of fruit. You want to get tons and tons of fruit because that's a really good balance of not only your daily water, but all the nutrients and whatnot. I really like to buy a huge thing of frozen blueberries and just snack on them for the entire month or two that I have it. It's great for antioxidants to help clean you out. It has tons of nutrients and it's a superfruit, so it's even good to get like frozen stuff because, or frozen fruit or vegetables, because sometimes when the produce is fresh like out of the produce area, it kind of loses some of the nutrients from being traveled to each state and then finally getting to yours. So sometimes, like when you have frozen stuff, it's picked, then frozen, like right away. So the nutrients is, frozen in there and it's kept well. So I'm not saying never get any fresh produce. Of course I have fresh produce, but it's good to go to places maybe like an Asian market or whatnot, because places like that, or like a fresh market that you see on the side that would have like, fresh garden fruits and vegetables, because those are going to be your best way to get your nutrients without it being like completely out of it from being traveled or from traveling to where you live. But a good alternative, if you have a hard time getting some good fruits and vegetables, is to go in the frozen aisle, because it's still a good amount of nutrients in them. So if you're not a huge ginger fan, you probably won't like this next thing, but it is a type of candy, but it is natural, and there's only a couple ingredients in it, and I swear by this stuff. When you are sick or you have a stomach ache or anything like that, I will quickly grab one of these because it just makes me feel really good. But it is ginger candy, the little tags on it. And you can see I only got it for $1.99 at the Asian market. But the ingredients is just saccharose, which is, or sucrose, I think I'm saying it right, which is just kind of the purest form of when they're first making sugar. When they first kind of break it down, it becomes saccharose and then eventually sugar and molasses and all that stuff. And it has ginger, of course, and tapioca starch, which just coats it because it is kind of more of a gummy form, so it makes it so it doesn't stick. And then it has coconut oil, so there's hardly any ingredients in it. It's not bad for you. It has a little bit of fiber in it, dietary fiber, but basically it's just the ginger and the nutrients that ginger gives. I love this stuff. I swear by it. And it is from the company Prince of Peace, so if you can find it somewhere or look it up, I'm sure they might have it online or whatnot, but or in your Asian market if you have one. Another thing, of course, that I know not only Asians live by, but there's so many cultures that live by rice, and the benefits of it, and the fact that when you see a culture that eats a lot of rice, do you ever see them overweight or anything? So rice is really good, especially if you're trying to do good with not getting a lot of bad things in your diet. It's good to throw a little bit of this with your meal. This is actually brown rice from Walmart, but I do like to have white rice once in a while, so we'll change it up. Me and my husband will either have brown rice one night, because this is a little bit more meatier. It has a little bit more of a texture to it, so it's, when I first had it a while ago, I didn't really like the texture, so it took me a while to kind of get used to it, but I do really like it now. It's actually great if you add a little corn to it. Just the texture of both of them, it's really, really good. So I usually like to eat this with corn. But white rice is still good for you. Brown rice just has a little bit more nutrients because it is more of the purest form of the rice grain. I know white rice is kind of more bleached and whatnot, but it's still good for you. Another tip for rice, especially white rice, it's good to rinse it before you cook it. It not only helps with the sticking, because rice can get very sticky and mushy and whatnot, but if you rinse it, it gets some of the starch off it, so that way it doesn't stick and clump together. It kind of is more fluffy, but it also there's kind of some arsenic on rice. It's naturally in the ground where it grows, so you kind of want to wash that off. You really don't want that in your rice. So just a little tip I thought I'd share with you guys. And of course, my trusty green tea. This is not just green tea, I have other teas in here. But I do really like the Stash Company. I know I've talked about this a couple times and mentioned them. But I also have mango coconut, which I talked about last time. Green tea I do swear by mostly. But if you can find stuff like oolong tea, which that's what the mango coconut is, or black tea, which I have black tea as well, because that's really good for inflammation. If you have any stomach trouble, it's really good for if your intestines feel a little inflamed and puffy. It's good for that. Or if you have puffy eyes, it's good to drink black tea. Of course, if you're sensitive to caffeine, black tea is one of the highest. Green tea is pretty high in caffeine, but it's one of those ones that normally don't affect people too much. And I'm not too sure about oolong tea. I know it's kind of in the lower bracket for caffeine, so you might want to check up on that one. But I know it's really good for you as well. All tea is very, very good for you. Of course, another thing is honey. I can't have enough honey. I mean, I buy so much of it because not only do I put it in my tea, but of course baking, and I put it on my skin because it's a great moisturizer. It has tons of nutrients in it. It's a bacterial killer, so it's great if you have acne. It's just an overall great thing to have like in your pantry. This is just a raw, wild, natural honey I got it at Walmart, but I think you can get it online too. It's called Aunt Sue's, a Subi product, if you can see that. And I got a big one because I go through it like crazy. I think that is it for my food. Of course, there's tons of other things that I do eat. Like for cereal, I know I mentioned that I don't have it in the morning. Sometimes I'll actually buy it for a snack at night because even though it can be sugary, it's actually a good treat because there is nutrients and fiber and whatnot in them. So if you feel like having a chocolatey treat, buy a chocolate cereal and snack on that at night because it's going to be a lot better for you than chocolate. You know, especially if you add it with milk. The milk is great for you. I do think that whole milk is really good for you. I used to grow up with 2%, and I know that if you do have weight trouble, you know, you want to gear towards the 1% or 2%. But the whole milk, it has all the nutrients, nothing's taking out of it, nothing's diluting it, and you're going to get more benefits from it than if you're drinking 2% or 1%, or skim milk, which pretty much takes every nutrients out of it that the milk would have naturally. So I do have 1%, no, I have whole milk, and I do like to have that, especially when I have cereal or if I have this. It adds some extra protein and benefits that I do need. I have noticed that when I do drink it, I can't have it a lot because I'm mildly lactose, so I can't have it on a daily basis, and I can't have like ice cream and all that stuff, like really creamy, thick ice cream on a daily basis, because it just gives me kind of like a little bit of sharp pains in my stomach. Nothing crazy, but I would like to keep it at mild and not kind of make it worse. But it is good to kind of have it as often as you can, because the protein's really good for you. But it's really good for your skin. Also mixing it in a little bit of a mask that you might make, like with honey and with rice flour, which I've been using a lot for my face. I just add just a dab of rice flour, honey, and a little milk, and it's a great moisturizer, moisturizing mask, as long also with, you know, bacterial killing and whatnot. So I think I am going to go and finish drinking my tea because it's getting cold. And I think I'm going to make one more video after this. I have a couple things that I bought like a couple weeks ago. I was just testing them out for you guys to make sure that, you know, kind of reviewing them. And sorry about my nose, it's still pretty stuffy. I had like a flu cold mix, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of like an in-between thing, because I had a fever along with a stuffy nose, which typically I guess that is called the flu. It's not typically your, you know, common cold. So I guess I had just the flu. But yeah, so I'm going to end this, and I hope you got some good benefits and some good advice on what I eat. Of course, I am not an expert. These are just some things that I've learned over the years. I've been huge into nutrition, and I've been seriously considering going into it, or doing some schooling for it, because I love nutrition. Every information that I get online or on TV or anywhere from people, it just soaks in me, and I just remember it. It's just stuff that I remember like so well, compared to, you know, a lot of things that I read or see or whatnot. So I love nutrition and learning all about it. So if you have any tips that I didn't mention, or that you've learned that helps you, by all means leave it in the comments, message me, give me a video response of what you eat. You know, anything like that, because I love seeing stuff like that or reading stuff like that. So, alright, I hope you got some, you know, good stuff out of my video, and I will talk to you guys later. So, bye!